Good afternoon, welcome to the channel. I'm Jay. This is the Jay Flat Out YouTube channel. Now, I want to talk to you guys about something very important today, which is service. I'm here at 7-Eleven, and when I check out, the employee told me that he was having an absolutely shit day. And one, not really what I want to hear from a business individual or somebody representing a business, but, you know, sometimes you just gotta smile more. It's just ironic because that kicks off kind of the beginning theme of this video, which is service. Now, I've dealt with CJC Off Road, which also owns CJC Powersports, a couple of times, but not nearly as much as I'm going to in the future. And let me tell you why I like them. This is not a paid promotion at all. Nothing in it for me other than just to tell you guys, you could call them and ask them any kind of question, not any kind of question, related to your truck that you have. And they're not going to ask you, oh, give me your order number, I want to make sure that you've spent money here first, or anything like that. Now, don't abuse it, don't take advantage of them, you know, throw them some business if you need something they offer. They've given me advice on stuff that I haven't necessarily bought there, just to try to make my truck better. The guys there all drive lifted and leveled trucks, Ford, Chevy, Dodge, no matter what it is. One of them drives it. They're subject matter experts, and they're genuine. It's not the typical gun store commando or the four-wheel parts commando that thinks that he's so much better than you just because, like, you have to buy something from his store, and just kind of the stigmatism that goes along with gun stores and truck shops. Like, I just had to give CJC a plug because just they care. They give a shit, and they're professional, and I'm just really happy with the products that they've recommended to me. Now, having said that, again, not a sponsored plug, totally my own opinion. Now that right there is a nice setup through the bushes. On to today's video. Alright, so as I was saying, I finally took the plunge about fixing the passenger steering wheel vibration. What CJC sales guys recommended to me was to try these Fox 2.0 shocks that are custom tuned for these linear rate springs that I have. Now, buying a custom tuned suspension spring and then running it with a Bilstein shock, it works, and it's better than factory. So you guys who are running that setup, I don't want you to think you know, that I'm dogging it at all. Of course, that's what I ran when I first leveled this truck. Now, it works, it just, Bilstein for me, was a very choppy ride. I would hit a pothole or go over a speed bump or anything like that. It was very rigid and very jarring. And that was kind of why I was looking at radius arms and different things that I could improve. $600 is how much these Fox 2.0 shocks cost for the four of them. There'll be a link in the description below to check out current pricing. It may drop in the future, who knows. But it was a long shot, and I held off for a long time because in my head, Bilstein and Fox, you know, it can't be that much different to warrant the money. I'm going to put the shocks on, we're going to take a drive, and then I'll let you know my thoughts afterwards. I have great news and I have okay news. The great news is my Fox racing shocks came in. The okay news is I only have my phone, so we're going to do what we can with the install video. So the rear is relatively easy. You just undo that bolt, undo these two bolts, and obviously replace it. Right, quick sweaty update. I'm on the passenger front. This is the shock right here, the one that four-wheel parts installed. And the retaining bolt on the top is actually seized to the threads. This is also the wheel that I'm having the vibration in. And when I try to turn the shock, the threads and the shock don't turn together. So once again, view the video about four-wheel parts if you haven't, and I may have to cut this off. We'll see. And not least, boom, there you have it. So I'll four on. A couple pointers, guys. If you are going to do this yourself instead of having a shop do it, a creeper is a huge help for the rear. If you're having trouble with the rear, I jacked it up from the tow hitch, which isn't ideal, the tow receiver, which isn't ideal, but it separates the axle from the frame. There's the other one. Same thing here. Got the last one on, pin top. Super easy process.
I literally sweat so bad through my jeans, it looks like I've pissed myself.
I didn't piss myself. And we're back. Sorry, I didn't actually have a camera with me other than my phone. Did the best we could. While we're here, Merchant Bio, new J Flat Out hats in camo are out, and the Sleigh Tires Today signature Arctic camo shirts are in the store as well, link in bio. Now, first drive, I was blown away. And I literally DM'd the guy on Instagram who works for CJC Off Road and recommended this system for me because he's running the same system on his Dodge, and just said, wow. Because yeah, I understand it's a lot of money, but honestly guys, as I've told you throughout this build series, and I feel kind of like a hypocrite for taking a product for free and not plugging it because it wasn't a bad shock, but compared to this is like a Cummins Cadillac now. Now, obviously it's not Baja ready and it's not going to take whoops at 100 miles an hour and jump, and I couldn't jump these curbs, you know, and still lay flat. But as you're going to see in this clip here, it's just a it's tuned. It's tuned by Carli. The valving inside the shock is tuned by Carli to match these specific coils, making it a much, much smoother ride. I also find that cornering, the body roll in the cornering is dramatically reduced. Not that I want to take corners at 100 miles an hour in this truck, but you know, the corners that I usually take, I drive, you know, the same roads every day, and the corners that I usually take at a more spirited pace are a lot more controlled now. So you guys know from other videos that I've had problems with places and problems with products, that I'm going to tell you straight up how it is. Now, if $600 is out of your price range, my first advice would be to save up for these, because it really, really is that much of a difference. I would say a liberal guess would be that it's 40% better. My actual number is 60%, but I don't want to promise you 60% improvement and you not feel the same way. So my tapered down guess is that the ride is 40% better. In my mind, it's 60. And for me, that's worth saving up a couple extra weeks to get. You know, again, I don't want you to think if you've got the Bilsteins they're bad. I would just highly, highly, highly recommend getting the Fox 2.0s to match whatever suspension system you're running, because you have to think, okay, let's use my phone. They say this is the bottom of your tire, right? So as it's going along, the bottom of your tire is going up and down, right? Well, when a shock absorber is doing badly, your wheel and your whole suspension system is going to be articulating at a much harsher and greater rate. With something that's tuned and something that absorbs the shock of the road, shock absorber, I know, right? It's going to be a lot more smoother and a lot more intentional, and that's also going to reduce overall wear and tear on your front end. So I understand that, yeah, it's a lot of money, but you're getting a lot more out of it than just a smoother ride. If you can get an extra 10,000 miles out of your front end, and that's just a number, don't quote me on that, but if you could get an extra 10,000 miles out of your front end just based on an improved shock absorber, it's worth it. So I want to thank CJC Off Road and their guys once again for guiding me in the direction, finally talking me into taking the plunge and spending the money for these shocks, because it really does make a difference. And whereas before I was kind of like, man, this thing's kind of a crap to drive, and yeah, there's parts of it I don't like, and having to plan out which roads to take just to avoid certain potholes or avoid certain sections of road. Now already just driving to work today and back, not an issue at all. I'm really genuinely impressed with these shocks. Now, future suspension mods. The front is pretty much done. If I end up getting the radius arms, it'll be for aesthetics mostly. They changed the vulcanized bushings that the factory radius arms use to a Johnny joint. I want to do a steering stabilizer still, trying to look for one that works with this truck pretty well. And I do want to get the Carli ball joints for this. One of the subscribers asked me about that. I will be getting the Carli, I think it's called Extreme Duty or Ultimate Duty ball joints for this when they come out in early 2018. Now, I want to ask you guys, those of you guys who are running an airbag system in the back, how do you feel about it? Does it improve your day-to-day driving, or is it just really when you're towing you see a big improvement? And also, I like the cab to not have a bunch of extra stuff stuck to it. So if you guys have a recommendation for a low-profile, sleek and discreet airbag controller, I'd love to hear about it. If you guys have any questions at all on the shocks, shoot them my way. I'll try to answer the best that I can. If not, CJC's info will be in the description below, and we'll see you next video.
Oh yeah,